do you go from having millions of subscribers, making stupid amounts of money, to getting charged with felonies and facing years behind bars?
They are twins who became YouTube stars by pulling pranks, but cops say this time they went too far.
Eric Connover is accused of intentionally hitting a Bartlett police officer with his car and leading police on an 8-mile chase.
It turned out that I actually committed 5 felonies.
This was not a prank. This was criminal activity.
These are YouTubers that went to jail. And first, I bet you didn't know MrBeast once did something so reckless, he was criminally charged. Back in 2017, when Jimmy was just starting to go viral and the YouTube checks started rolling in, he did what any 19-year-old with money would do.
What's up, guys? I kind of bought a sports car.
Jimmy had copped his dream car, a $100,000 BMW i8. This was everything he ever wanted. But eventually, his dream would turn into a nightmare. Because on January 21st, 2018, at around 2:30 in the morning, he was cruising through North Carolina when all of a sudden, another car pulls up and starts revving its engine. In that moment, Jimmy knew exactly what he had to do. So he hit the gas and they were off, reaching speeds of 122 miles per hour. That's nearly twice the legal limit. But just when they thought they were in the clear, the cops pulled up. And immediately after, Jimmy was arrested, charged with several traffic offenses, and even slapped with a $100,000 bond. But the dudes in the other car weren't just speeding, because, turns out they were driving with an open container of alcohol, a loaded 9mm handgun, and ammo stashed in the car. Jesus Christ, Jimmy picked the race with the wrong dudes. But this next YouTuber picked the wrong place to visit, because he's facing 5 years in prison over a can of Diet Coke? Let me explain. This is Mikhail L. Palikov, aka the Neo-Orientalist on YouTube. And over the past year, this guy's blown up for posting some questionable videos. What the hell? But in March of 2025, he went viral for all the wrong reasons. Because that's when he decided to go somewhere that's literally banned. I'm talking the most deadly place on Earth, North Sentinel Island. And this place is no joke, because it's home to the Sentinelese, a completely uncontacted tribe who've been isolated for tens of thousands of years. I mean, this island is so off limits, it's illegal to come within 5 miles of it, and for good reason. Because the last time somebody tried to pay a visit, let's just say he was never to be seen again. But even after knowing all that, Mikhailo thought he'd be the one to change that. So against Indian federal law, he sailed to the island, got off his boat, and walked right onto the beach, staying for an entire hour, trying to summon the natives, only for none of them to show up. So, figuring the trip was a bust, he packed up some sand as a souvenir and left behind a coconut and a can of Diet Coke as an offering to the tribe. But this turned out to be a big mistake.
An Arizona YouTuber was arrested in India, accused of trying to make contact with an isolated tribe. Visitors are banned from North Sentinel Island because the tribe lacks immunity from modern illnesses and are known to attack outsiders.
That single can of Coke could have wiped out the entire tribe. So now he's facing up to 5 years in prison, all for a video that never even made it online. Damn, bro did all that for nothing. And so did this next YouTuber, because he flexed so hard, it landed his ass in federal prison. FBI, open up! See, this is Omar Casquillo, better known as Omi in a Hellcat. And for a while, his life was like a movie, dropping millions on diamond chains, Rolexes, multiple mansions. I mean, at one point, this dude literally had 55 cars in his backyard. 55! From Lamborghinis to Hellcats, there was nothing this guy didn't have in his collection. But what no one realized was, nearly all of it was built on a massive illegal empire. Because back in 2016, Omi launched his own IPTV business that gave people live cable, sports, and pay-per-view events for just $15 a month. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it was. You see, Omi was intercepting cable signals from massive companies like Comcast, Verizon, and HBO, only to resell them using his own servers to hundreds of thousands of people. And in just a few years, Omi racked up over $30 million doing it. But instead of keeping a low profile, he decided to start a YouTube channel and flex on everyone. And what did you know? Just 6 months later in 2019, the FBI came knocking, raiding his mansion and seizing everything.
You know, I found a loophole, I ran through it, and I did great. I don't think I ever did anything wrong, obviously. I was running businesses, wide open in the public. Now you just got to see.
So by the end of it, Homie pleaded guilty to conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and copyright infringement. And ultimately, he had no other choice but to auction off everything he owned and was sentenced to 66 months in federal prison. Damn. Homie really fumbled the bag. And Vitali fumbled his freedom, because what he did was so out of line, it's like he wants to go to jail.
Guys, chat, I'm going to jail.
Oh, wait. He literally does.
I'm going to jail. I'm going to end up on TMZ again, and I don't give a f.
In over a decade of clout chasing, Vitali has gone from prankster to straight up criminal. From streaking the World Cup and NBA Finals to climbing the Hollywood sign and the Great Pyramid of Giza. Hell, the man even faked bomb threats.
Pretending to have a bag with an explosive in it.
But somehow, none of that tops what he did in 2025 when he flew to Manila in the Philippines and live streamed himself, straight up terrorizing the city.
Can I shove this up your butt? This much? I'm a homosexual. You are the best thing going. I'm gonna get arrested. Oh no! Papa.
Did this grown-ass man really just try to squeeze through a security scanner? Well, let's just move on. And it didn't take long for Philippine authorities to catch on to Vitali's antics and lock his ass up. So now, he's facing all kinds of charges, including theft, harassment, and something called unjust vexation, which basically means bro is being unlawfully annoying. And if he's convicted, Vitali could be looking at up to 24 years in maximum security prison. This man was really down bad. But this next YouTuber is down even further, because Eric Van Connover went from $1 million mansions to an attempted murder charge.
The officer was thrown 40 feet, suffering a leg injury. Connover is facing several charges, including attempted murder.
See, on the surface, Eric had it all. A luxury real estate channel with nearly 3 million subscribers, videos touring $500 million mansions, and even A-list celebrity friends. But what people didn't know was that behind the scenes, Eric was battling his own demons.
1,444 days sober from alcohol today.
But just a few months after dropping that video, things took an interesting turn when he got arrested for DOI. And instead of staying quiet, Eric took to Twitter and started blasting the cops, posting photos of his bruised wrists, saying he was violated, and claiming he was going to sue the police department. But that was just the beginning, because barely 48 hours later, Eric was caught speeding again. And this time, he wasn't getting off the hook that easy.
Connover stopped and an officer attempted to de-escalate the situation, but Connover allegedly drove at him and hit him in the leg and then sped off for another 28 miles.
Holy crap! This guy almost killed a cop! And when Eric finally got to court, he went completely off the rails. I mean, bro started yelling at the judge, claiming he was being targeted in a police sting operation, saying they had the wrong guy, and threatening anyone that questioned him.
If anyone dares try to test my mental confidence, I will eviscerate every single person with my intelligence right now. And that's not being egotistical.
Yeah. And as the making of this video, Eric's currently in jail, being held without bail. And if convicted, he could be facing decades behind bars. But while Eric was losing his mind in court, this next YouTuber lost everything over a dessert.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
You see, back in 2017, a Spanish YouTuber called Reset thought it'd be a good idea to swap the filling of an Oreo with toothpaste and give it to a homeless person, claiming it would help clean the man's teeth. But, the internet wasn't buying it. I mean, people got so mad that over 124,000 people signed a petition demanding YouTube to delete his channel. But that was only the beginning of the end for Reset, because after the homeless man's daughter saw what had happened, she decided to take him to court. And in 2019, a judge ruled that Reset had a pattern of cruel behavior and targeting vulnerable victims, ultimately finding him guilty of violating the man's moral integrity. So not only was he sentenced to 15 months in prison and ordered to pay $22,000 in damages, but Reset was also banned from uploading to YouTube for 5 whole years. And all this for a YouTube video. Now that's a fat L. But Logan Paul took an even fatter L, because during a trip to Italy, he did something so disrespectful, it got the military involved. Yeah, back in 2017, Logan was a straight-up menace to society. And when he touched down in Europe, he somehow got worse. I mean, within hours of arriving in Venice, the dude was already acting up.
Okay, you can don't do that. Yo, if you call the police, ask them if they could join the Logan. No.
But things really went south when he got to Rome, because that's where Logan would take disrespect to a whole new level.
You're 5, you stay with your parents.
Well,
so don't do this anymore.
That's all the competition, man. PewDiePie is next time. Hey. What? Yo, wait, what? Yo, Italians hate vloggers, bro.
Jesus! This man couldn't leave his house without harassing people. But later that same day, Logan officially took things too far, because that's when he decided to fly a drone over the Colosseum. Wait, that's not bad at all. Except it is bad. Apparently, not only does it break Italian aviation laws, but some people have been hit with fines over $100 grand. So Logan made the mature decision to...
I understand drone shots here are illegal, so let's definitely do that. What? Landing? Is it landing? Anybody got eyes on it? I do not see the drone. Yo, we gotta go freaking manhunt this drone.
So we just got a text from Brendan saying, I found it, ellipsis, military has it.
Yeah. Minutes after launching the drone, the military confiscated it and detained Logan.
Fly of a drone in this area is illegal.
No bueno.
I must arrest you for this.
Okay.
And after something like that, you'd think he'd be in serious trouble. But instead, Logan was released after a day without a single charge and was free to go like nothing had ever happened.
I'm a savage, bro. Free my boy Logan. You can't stop Logan.
Man, Logan got off easy. But I think Steve will do it gets off on going to jail. Because if there's one thing Steve will do, it's get his ass arrested. See, in the summer of 2023, Steve and the boys head up Universal Studios Orlando looking for a good time. There was just one problem. Yeah, that went about as terribly as you'd expect. Because not only did he get kicked out, he got banned for a whole year. Now, most people would have taken the L and moved on, but not Steve. So a few months later, he came up with a plan to go undercover and sneak back in. And somehow, it actually worked. Because Steve got in, made a vlog, and made it out like a bandit. But apparently, that still wasn't enough for him. Because 2 months later, just 26 days before his ban was about to end, Steve snuck in again. But this time...
Stop.
Yeah! Cops finally caught up with Steve and arrested him. And to make matters worse, he ended up pleading no contest to misdemeanor trespassing, getting banned from Universal Studios for another year.
Damn, should have waited 1 month.
Yeah, they called us and said you're here. I'm like,
Daily Alarned Jr.
I'm so close. I think it was August 7th. 28 days.
I know, it sucks.
Damn, Steve. That disguise wasn't fooling anyone. And neither was Trevor Jacob. Because what looked like a near-death experience turned into a full-blown criminal investigation. See, Trevor isn't just any ordinary YouTuber. He's an Olympian, licensed pilot, and a full-blown adrenaline junkie who's pulled off all kinds of crazy stunts. From skating off rooftops to skydiving from rope swings. The man's nuts. But in 2015, there was a meaning behind the madness. Because after losing his best friend in a base jump accident, Trevor wanted to honor him the only way he knew how. So he set out on a tribute flight to Mammoth Mountain in California, where he planned to spread his ashes from the sky. But that's when things went horribly wrong. Because all of a sudden, the plane's engine failed, leaving him with only one option.
I'm just so happy to be alive. I'm just kind of taking in what just happened. Well, where the hell am I gonna land a freaking plane? I'm gonna die. That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute.
Now, thankfully, Trevor was able to pull off an emergency landing, and for a while, it seemed like one big freak accident. That was until an investigation was launched, and immediately, things didn't add up. Like Trevor claimed he couldn't remember where the crash happened, despite going back twice to recover his cameras. And the more investigators reviewed the footage, the less it made sense. Because not only did he open the cabin door before the engine failed, but he never called for help, never tried to restart the engine, and made zero effort to land safely. But the biggest red flag came when they discovered the wreckage had been cleared, leaving them with only one reasonable conclusion.
When I jumped out of the plane, I jumped and I'm like, you just made the biggest mistake of your life. I did pretend that, you know, the engine died and kind of made the saga of the video.
You were acting a bit?
Yeah. When I jumped out of that plane, I had no idea I committed any type of crime whatsoever. It turned out that I actually committed 5 felonies.
Bro really faked a plane crash for clout? And it blew up in his face! Because not only did he plead guilty to obstructing a federal investigation, he also lost his pilot license and was sentenced to 6 months in prison. Damn, I see why he tried to hide this story. That is plain crazy. But this next guy is playing psycho, because Ross Creations has been to jail more times than any other YouTuber ever. See, back in the early 2010s, Ross wasn't just a prankster, he was a menace to society. I mean, this dude would do literally anything to get a reaction out of people.
The idea was just to like give strangers wedgies. It sounds funny, but it's not once you're the one being given the wedgie.
He's charged with misdemeanor battery on the movie theater prank and violation of probation.
Yeah, but that was only his first arrest, because over the next couple of years, he would attempt every prank in the book, from front flipping over police officers to removing stop signs from an intersection and streaking baseball games. Hell, Ross even impersonated a cop and gave out fake parking tickets. Bro was basically asking to get his ass thrown in jail with that one.
Impersonating a police officer is a felony, but the most important thing is he thinks it's funny.
And if you add up all of Ross's crimes over the years, this man's been arrested 6 times. That's 6 times more than any other YouTuber. God damn, he didn't just set a YouTube record, he set a criminal record. Believe it or not, we've seen crazier stuff happen to YouTubers, from a meet and greet turned deadly to getting kidnapped by a gang. So if you want to see more, then you need to click on this video right here.